the Armageddon DVD and Titan AE VHS. The Nolander, the Raiders of the Nolander. Any second, this time can click. Any second with the setup. I had this Armageddon and Titan AE setup with this Nolander situation. But anyways, the gist of the story is, remember that cop that put that gun to my head and pulled the trigger 3 times in the Justice Department? Apparently on that setup, the divine powers of intervention stopped that bullet from entering my brain. Because I had this setup, if this cop would have got away with murdering the king of the dark, trying to save this planet from the Armageddon, if that cop would have gained $1 after the fact that he murdered me, yes, the Armageddon would have been set up. Who would think a fucking cop would have fucking ended the world by 1 bullet? What I would have did is I would have harnessed the sun's power up, and the sun would have started blinking off and on. And all of a sudden the fucking sun turns off, and then it goes back on, and people will start believing more into the Armageddon and the end times. So then I would have used that harness of the sun, turning it off and on, to trigger people's brains into believing the end is near. So these gods had no choice. They could see a future. They could see futures. They seen the future of this world when that bullet went through my brain. They did everything in their power. They put water, moisture into that bullet so it wouldn't spark. They did everything they could possibly do to stop that bullet. Unless I accepted being in the remand center forever. If I accepted the remand center forever, they would have kept me in that remand center, and I would have still been sitting in that remand center begging for food and water. Forever. I would have been in there forever, and this system of death and injustice would keep going on. But because I didn't accept that, I accepted my light elevation. They knew that they were fucked. These gods need you people to survive. You got to understand what a god does. A god has choices. Not like a demon. A demon has no choice but to serve justice. But these gods have many choices. They can get into people's brains and minds and make them think and do things. So people think demons are bad when they serve justice and gods are good, when it's actually the opposite. It's the opposite way around about gods. It's a magic spell, God. G-O-D. Say it backwards, it's a D-O-G. It's a dog in the brain. So you're giving this power and that trickery to the gods when they're just tricking you into making you believe in this powerful entity, creating these gods in your brains. They knew about this dark power. So be careful about accepting God in your life. Because these gods purposely, divine power, stopped that bullet because they knew the Armageddon would have been set. This world wouldn't even be here right now, or it would be, but it'd be dark and cold with no electricity. So remember, justice is God. Not God, but justice. And injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So all you killer cops, I made a deal with you people. You get hazard pay for a reason, but you kill people out of rage and hate and anger. And because you can do it. So I made a deal with these cops and cast a spell where they're allowed to bumper change on the street, put their family on welfare, and get rid of all your assets, all that fucking cash you don't deserve. Because you don't deserve nothing.